Hello everyone. What's up? Welcome to the Trending News channel. Hope you will enjoy our video. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. PM Anthony Albanese warns public to exercise caution as cyclone's delayed landfall is not all good news. Australia is bracing for severe flooding as Cyclone Alfred nears, with the rare storm on the country's eastern coast expected to bring torrential rain, destructive winds, and storm surges. The tropical cyclone is now forecast to make landfall early on Saturday, after its progress towards the coast dramatically slowed. Alfred was 240 kilometers east of Brisbane and moving west at just 7 kilometers per hour on Thursday, with sustained winds near the center gusting to 130 kilometers per hour. Forecaster Thomas Hinterdorfer from Higgins Storm Chasing said earlier that the storm slowing down would be the worst-case scenario, as it means a longer period of very heavy rainfall while the cyclone straddles the coast. Strong winds have already cut power to thousands of homes, and Brisbane Airport has been closed, with hundreds of flights now suspended. The State Emergency Service has ordered evacuations in Lismore and other parts of northern New South Wales by 9 p.m. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese urged residents to exercise caution, saying that while the cyclone has slowed up somewhat, that is not all good news. Authorities are searching for a possible missing jet skier off the northern New South Wales coast, as rough seas pose life-threatening risks. Where to take shelter as Cyclone Alfred nears Queensland. Emergency services are on high alert as Cyclone Alfred threatens to bring destructive winds, heavy rainfall, and a storm surge later this week. Brisbane is expected to come to a standstill, with schools and daycares closing on Friday and public transport shutting down from tonight. Even typically safe areas, such as Bigara waters on the Gold Coast, are forecast to experience flooding. In Lismore, businesses are preparing for the worst, fearing a repeat of the devastating floods from 3 years ago. Authorities have urged residents in high-risk areas to evacuate, with cyclone and flood refuge centers set to open across Brisbane from Friday morning. With 4 million people in the storm's path, officials are bracing for impact as the Category 2 cyclone moves closer to the coast. Meteorologist Thomas Hinterdorfer, from Higgins Storm Chasing, advised those staying behind to seek shelter in the safest part of their homes. Anywhere from the most interior room in your house to a bathroom, and ideally with a mattress over you. It's just that little bit of extra protection, Mr. Hinterdorfer told news.com.au. Try to stay away from windows and doors that could obviously break or blow in. Brisbane's homeless at risk as cyclone approaches. As Cyclone Alfred nears Brisbane, most residents will take shelter indoors, but more than 1,300 people facing homelessness remain vulnerable to the dangerous conditions. With heavy rain and destructive winds expected late on Friday, support workers are racing against time to bring those sleeping rough to safety. Karen Walsh, chief executive of the non-profit organization Micah Projects, said the urgency of the situation was being met with disbelief. Every time we tell people it's urgent, they don't believe us, Ms. Walsh told Australian Broadcast Corporation. Many homeless individuals lack access to news updates and may not realize the risks of staying outdoors. People won't see the danger, and with a cyclone, you need to come inside before the storm, she added. It's really hard to convey it to people, and you just have to keep going back. But we will keep going back as long as it is safe to drive. In preparation, staff and volunteers have been removing tents from open spaces such as Musgrave Park, while the Northwest Community Group has set up emergency shelters with around 100 air mattresses. There are those that have gone in early, but there are those who won't go anywhere until there is imminent danger, Ms. Walsh said. Because it isn't raining yet, people think they still have time. Lismore residents urged to evacuate as flooding threat looms. Lismore MP Janelle Saffin has urged residents to leave their homes ahead of expected flooding, acknowledging the difficulty of evacuating, but stressing the importance of safety. It's difficult to leave your home. If you get an evacuation order, please do it. I want you safe. Your family wants you safe. Your neighbors want you safe. We all do, Ms. Saffin said. She assured residents they could bring their pets to evacuation centers. The State Emergency Service, SES, has ordered evacuations in Lismore and other parts of northern New South Wales, by 9 p.m. on Thursday. Acting Chief Superintendent Stuart Fisher warned that worsening conditions could make rescue efforts more challenging. The weather is deteriorating rapidly for us. Whilst it may look like the rivers aren't flooding, there is high concern that they will start flooding tonight and continue into tomorrow, Mr. Fisher said. Storm damage begins in flood-prone NSW as power lines collapse. Severe winds battering New South Wales Northern Rivers region have begun causing damage, with a power pole brought down in Ballina on Thursday evening as heavy rain and gusts intensified. Residents in West Ballina have reported power outages, while the State Emergency Service (SES) has urged the flood-prone town to prepare for possible evacuation. Essential Energy told Sydney Morning Herald that around 10,000 homes and businesses from Tweed Heads to Buladella have lost electricity after trees and debris struck power lines. The energy provider warned that access to some areas remains restricted due to intense rainfall, meaning power may be interrupted for extensive periods. Thousands ordered to evacuate as floods threaten northern rivers. Thousands of residents in New South Wales Northern Rivers region have been ordered to evacuate as rising floodwaters threaten homes and infrastructure. The State Emergency Service (SES) has directed around 7,000 people in Lismore, Fingal Head, Billinudgel, Yukai, Bungawalbin, Tumbulgum, and parts of Karaki and Kyogle to leave before 9 p.m., giving them just 3 hours' notice. If you remain in the area, you may become trapped without power, water, and other essential services, the SES warned. It may be too dangerous for NSWCs to rescue you, and buildings may not be able to withstand the impact of flood water. Evacuation warnings have also been issued for East Karaki, parts of Boroville, Bungawalbin, Dunba, North Woodburn, and surrounding areas. Those outside immediate evacuation zones have been urged to stay indoors unless directed otherwise. Authorities have advised residents to stay with family or friends, where possible, or seek refuge at evacuation centers. Officials have urged the public to check Hazard Watch for real-time updates. American rapper and actor Ice Cube is among those stuck on the Gold Coast, as Australia braces for tropical Cyclone Alfred. The musician, in the country for his Australian tour, is scheduled to perform in Sydney on Friday, but remains trapped as severe weather conditions intensify. Speaking to The Project, he joked about the experience, saying the beach outside his hotel looked like it was going to be in the hotel lobby in a minute. "It is pretty cool. I haven't been through a cyclone before. I can check this off my bucket list for sure," he said. Actress Isla Fisher also shared a selfie with her followers, saying she was hunkered down waiting for the cyclone. Ms. Fisher has been filming Spa Weekend on the Gold Coast alongside Leslie Mann, Michelle Buteau, and Anna Faris. It remains unclear whether her co-stars are also affected, as they have not shared any updates. Brisbane residents uncertain over free parking at shopping centres amid flood risk. Uncertainty remains over whether residents in Brisbane's low-lying areas can park their cars at shopping centres for free to protect them from potential flooding. Queensland Premier David Crisafulli urged businesses to support those seeking refuge for their vehicles. "Let me answer it this way. If someone takes the initiative to go and put their car into a safe place, I would hope that they are supported in that journey," Mr. Crisafulli said at a press conference. "And we want everyone to be good corporate citizens and good community citizens at the moment," Sydney Morning Herald quoted him as saying. A spokesperson for Centre Group, which operates Westfield shopping centres, confirmed that parking was free at locations within the cyclone warning zone on Thursday. However, they cautioned that they could not guarantee the safety of vehicles stored there during or after the cyclone. Deadly bacterial disease surges in Queensland after severe flooding. Cases of the deadly bacterial infection melioidosis have surged in North Queensland following this year's devastating floods, with 119 infections reported, more than 3 times the number recorded in the same period in 2024. 16 people have died so far. Of the confirmed cases, 106 were detected in Cairns and Townsville. The disease, caused by the soil-dwelling bacterium Burkholderia pseudomallei, thrives in tropical regions and is typically triggered by environmental disruptions such as flooding. The bacteria can enter the body through cuts, inhalation, or contaminated water consumption. Associate Professor Jeffrey Warner, a microbiology expert at the Australian Institute of Tropical Health and Medicine, described melioidosis as an opportunistic infection that primarily affects those with underlying health conditions, including diabetes and kidney disease. Heavy alcohol consumption also increases susceptibility. The disease, often mistaken for severe respiratory infections, can rapidly progress to pneumonia and sepsis. Even when people present in well-resourced hospitals, the disease can be fatal, The Guardian quoted Dr. Warner as saying. With tropical Cyclone Alfred approaching, experts warn that further infections could arise, though the greatest health risks from flooding are likely to be mosquito-borne illnesses, fungal infections, and waterborne diseases. Authorities have urged residents to take precautions, including wearing protective clothing and avoiding direct contact with floodwaters. PM Albanese. We are there to support you. Cyclone Alfred was 240 kilometers east of Brisbane and moving west on Thursday with sustained winds near the center of 95 kilometers per hour and gusting to 130 kilometers per hour. Bureau of Meteorology Manager Matt Calopi said. The storm is expected to maintain its wind strength before hitting land. But the greatest fears are for the expected flooding over a wide area. Modeling shows that up to 20,000 homes in Brisbane, a city largely built on a river floodplain, could experience some level of flooding. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said 660 schools in southern Queensland and 280 schools in northern New South Wales were closed on Thursday as weather conditions worsen. The federal government had delivered 310,000 sandbags to Brisbane, and more were on the way, Mr. Albanese said. My message to people, whether they be in southeast Queensland or northern New South Wales, is we are there to support you. We have your back, Mr. Albanese told reporters in the national capital Canberra. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. If you like my video, please press like button and subscribe for more. Hope I'll see you in next video.